Hello and welcome to Demian Allan's Astrology channel. This is your astrology forecast for December 2022. And if you like the video, then press the like button, but also become a subscriber. It all helps in communicating the information about astrology to the world. Now, this video is going to be looking at December 2022, the planetary activity, the key dates to look out for, and what to expect from December 2022. I've spoken about previous videos about the heightened awareness and chaos that's been moving through, particularly this autumn. And December again, like I said, November, we're starting to get into territory. It's a little bit more stable, underline the word little, certainly because of the ongoing square aspect between Saturn and the planet Uranus in the sky, which is now separating slowly but surely. So that has been very much a contributor to a lot of the chaos that's been going on. So that will calm things down. So December for us will feel like coming to the end of a particular cycle. And in fact, this is what we always get, simply because we're coming to the end of the year and then the new year begins. So we all feel quite reflective at this particular period, looking back at what we've achieved, what we've done, how has the year progressed. So it's quite a significant time of reflection, but also a celebration as well. The sun is in Sagittarius for the majority of the month, and therefore we look to celebrate with friends and family and loved ones, connecting and celebrating what's happened over the last year. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is moving forward, as is Saturn in the sky, the two societal planets. So this is a period of looking forward rather than looking back, particularly for those who are in Jupiter or Saturn profected years. Okay, so let's start off by looking at the month ahead of December. So the big astrological news, first of all, is on the 4th of December, Jupiter, the modern ruler of Pisces, it moves direct for the first time since late June. Now, this is significant. Neptune tends to rule the nebulous, the non-tangible aspects. That would mean stuff like films, vapors, gas, oil, anything, ghosts as well, anything that we cannot grab hold of and define, and escapism as well. That could be positive and negative, and a sense of illusion. The illusion maker of Neptune. Also, oceans. It comes under the rulership of Neptune. So Neptune's going to be moving forward from the 4th. That's significant, I think. In the UK, where I'm based, we've had this energy crisis going on, and I feel that because of Neptune moving forward, that movement might start to happen in regard to that a little bit more than it has been with prices. It's slow. It's not going to transform in December, but a movement might happen in the right direction. I always say that Neptune is very subtle. It's not a planet that directly hits you like, say, Uranus or Pluto. It's very, very subtle. So I think that's going to be some good news, actually. And also, because it's been squaring Mars in the sky, and Neptune's moving forward and Mars is moving backwards, I think that gives a little bit of space between those two planets. Now, on the 6th of December, Mercury goes into Capricorn, which Hermes is far happier in Capricorn than it is in Sagittarius, the previous sign, which means that it can function. It can be quite practical and pragmatic in its communication skills, particularly in its drive and ambition in work. So I think that's going to help. But here's the first kind of key date, I think, and there's 3 key dates for this one, which is the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th of December. The big date is obviously the 8th. This is because we have a full moon at 16 degrees in Gemini, very early in the morning UK time. And the main significance about that is it makes a conjunction with Mars, which is retrograde in Gemini. So the crucial degrees to look out for, particularly in your own chart, is Gemini 14, 15, 16, and 17 degrees, particularly that 16 degree mark, because that's where the conjunction is happening. That's where the full moon is happening. Now, full moons tend to be endings in some respect, but also they bring things up to the surface. And in Gemini, it's all about communication. It's all about short distance travel, early education, how we learn, mimicking in some ways as well, but also the use of language and how language has a certain amount of power that can be used wisely or not so wisely. So that's going to be interesting, I think, around about the social media aspect of society, because social media is particularly the use of language and words. It has such a powerful transformative effect on us all, and has done. So I think there'll be some stuff in the news regarding that particular area. It does bring to mind, obviously, what's happening with Twitter, and Twitter is majority of it about words and language. So I think that's going to be very interesting in that time about what happens in regard to that. On the 10th, Venus enters Capricorn, joins Mercury in Capricorn. So we have this re-emphasizing the Capricorn aspects from a collective point of view, which is, I always associate Capricorn with the word surviving, getting through the winter coming up. Very significant in terms of the 2 inner planets of Mercury and Venus now in that zodiac sign. And things get a little bit quiet from the 10th onwards, but here's when things really kind of push forward. On the 20th, Jupiter re-enters into Aries. So the Jupiter cycle begins at the start of the zodiac sign. It was in Aries earlier on in the year, then went retrograde back into Pisces, and now re-entered Aries, where it's really going to move very, very fast forward over the next 6 months. So Aries get a real kind of boost from this, and Aries should be feeling very optimistic and very excitable at the prospect of Jupiter in their own sign and moving forward. In fact, it moves forward. It doesn't go retrograde and then enters into Taurus in the middle of next year. So that's really a powerful symbol of courage, looking forward, the courage of your own convictions. That's from an individual point of view as well as a collective. That's huge. Then on the 21st, we have the winter solstice, when the sun goes into Capricorn at 21:48 GMT time. Very kind of powerful. In the northern hemisphere, of course, the winter solstice is a celebration of the sun getting stronger, the glimmer of the sun getting stronger. So it's a very, very powerful celebration of what is to come. Again, the re-emphasis on Capricorn aspects from the astrological point of view really comes to the forefront. So that's a really big celebratory time, actually, of optimism and looking forward. On the 23rd, we then have a new moon, and that's at 1 degrees in Capricorn. Yes, Capricorn again is dominating. So again, Capricorn is an emphasis on working matters, survival, keeping everything together, keeping everything in a practical sense, and working towards something, a mountain to climb or a vision of what one wants. So, particularly if you're looking at visualizing what you want in work in matters. This is a really good time, that new moon. Then we've got a bit later on, past the Christmas period, obviously, we've got the 29th, we've got Mercury goes retrograde in Capricorn here. So the planet of communication, Hermes, starts going backwards in the sky, just the end of the year. And that really kind of brings in a strong conclusion of taking a step back from all the activity and needing to recharge batteries. Mercury retrogrades get a bit of a bad rep. I only find that Mercury retrogrades are difficult if you're in a Mercury profected year, which means that if Mercury rules your year, then you know that can be tricky. But for a lot of us, it's just time to step back, look at projects. Are they what details need to be done? What needs to be cleared up? Really kind of significant. So yeah, there's also one more major astrological event, and that is on the 22nd of December, when Chiron starts moving direct as well in Aries. So the wounded healer starts moving forward, and that's working in conjunction, obviously, with Jupiter re-entering Aries as well. So that kind of sense of, again, the courage of our convictions, trusting in our own instincts, becoming much more stronger from a collective point of view, and that I think is very, very strong. That's going to be a kind of template for 2023. That sense of taking back control of our lives, but we have to do it in completely different ways to what we've done it before. So that's a kind of a huge aspect of kind of astrological change. So December is a month that is quieter than September and October, and in a way as November. There are subtle changes coming up, but it's not as perhaps dramatic as we've had. Apart from that full moon, I do kind of think that is quite heightened with that Mars in there. Those two planets, Mars and the Moon, not two planets I would say get along. So yeah, that would be the time that I would be hesitant around. But we step into new territory. We're sort of preparing ourselves for 2023, which obviously we'll talk about a lot, because there's a lot of astrological changes going on in 2023. But to close the end of the year, the idea of surviving and keeping things practical is going to be the key foundation here. The world is changing a lot. Huge momentous changes are taking place, and we are trying to catch up with them, good or bad. But listen, thank you very much for watching, and hope you have a delightful Christmas, fantastic winter solstice, and a brilliant start to the new year, when I will see you again. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the video. And this is me signing out. Thank you for watching.